Come on, man. Where's that 10 millimeter? Hey guys, we're back. Part 2 of the Apollo X15 Zs190 hood ride build called Black Crush. Anyway, a couple things have transpired since I finished the first episode. And I wasn't going to bore you with a lot of fabrication and stuff like that because it was really nothing big. But I mounted up the oil cooler, made a couple of neat brackets for it, mounted it up off the frame, used rubber cushions so it'll absorb some of the vibration. And it sits real nice when you have the tank and the cowl back on it. It kind of tucks in behind the cowl, which is neat. Also mounted the intake manifold, finished both brackets and intake manifold off in a textured black to try to keep the theme all the same and make it look, like a factory setup. I'll give you a quick walk around, take a look at it. All right, next step is wiring. And it's not that hard, not that intimidating. This thing has a complete harness that comes with it. There's a bunch of components that all link together. Everything's all kind of plug and play. If you follow along, it's really simple. I'm running off a 4-cell anti-gravity battery. I run these on all my electric start motors, 140s, 190s, whatever. They're really, really light. They're small. I'm going to tuck it up inside the frame up in here. All right, so it'll be hidden and out of the way. And I like to get all my wiring and everything inside the frame, tucked out of the way. So when you look at the bike, you see no wires. The worst thing I can't stand is a sloppy mess of wires all over the place hanging out. You'll have this wire running up into the frame along with this. I'll put a nice sleeve on it. That's the only set of wires you're going to see on this bike other than what comes off the handlebars and gets tucked underneath the tank. So that's just the way I like to finish it up. As far as the wiring goes, well, you get your main harness right here, okay? It's all self-explanatory. You got your negative, your positive, all your plugs. What I do is I pre-plug everything, test everything, and then I mark everything. And so everything's got a letter on it to the corresponding item that plugs into it. So I did that already, went through everything, the entire harness works, everything's fine. So this is good. Kill switch, starter button switch. That gets mounted on the handlebars, obviously. Again, plug and play. All right, and these are marked C and A. That's just how I do it when I go through doing my wire check. Comes with a key switch. Key switch has 3 positions. Off, on for ignition, plus a switch. I like to use that for my light power. So here's the deal. I can run the bike without the lights. I can run the bike with lights. Why is that? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'll be totally honest with you. Some of the places we ride out here in Phoenix aren't 100% legal. So, we do a lot of night riding and stuff. And sometimes you got to ditch, man. It is what it is. Listen, I'm 57 years old. I did the same thing when I was 10. You saw the cops. You got out and you took off. You ditched. You split. Whatever. So, sometimes some of the places we ride, we want to go low key, stay on the down low. Boom, click the lights off, and then just get out of there, get back on the street somewhere, throw the lights on, and head to another part of town. So that's why I make my lights so they can be turned on and off. Plus, I also have, I don't have it here, it's over in a box of parts. I got another switch that'll go up on a handlebar, and that's just so I can dip out the headlights and still have a tail light behind me if I got guys behind me. So they can still see me from the, in front of them so nobody crashes into me. But if I want total darkness, done. Okay, so ignition switch. Next, pretty simple. Comes with a plug. This is your starter relay. Again, plugs into the harness. Then you got your ignition coil right here. Okay, there's a plug for it in the harness and a ground. Comes with a boot and everything. They upgraded, looks like they upgraded the wires a little bit. It's a little bit better wire. I'm going to change this wire out and put one of my fire wires in that I sell. And that's a solid core silicon jacketed wire. And just take it off of this boot and put it and replace it. Regulator rectifier. regulator rectifier. This is a full wave, 4-wire regulator rectifier. So it maintains charging to the battery and lights, because these have lighting circuits in them. Okay, in the harness on these, if and when you do one, and you get the full harness with it, the one plug right here that has the 3 blue wires and the green, that's your lighting harness. Okay, so this works off the switched ignition. So if you're going to run lights and you want to just keep on the ignition switch, you can run it here. So ignition will power up. You want lights, you click it one more turn. Old school motorcycles are like that. Old Kawasaki's, Hondas, Yamahas, they were, that's how they were back in the day. If they didn't have a switch on the right side control for headlights like my KZ900 has, the key switch was off, on lights. And then some were off, on lights, and then park lights. That was a lot of European bikes. So you'd park the bike and you leave the tail light on so it didn't get smashed or run over, parked on the side of a narrow street in Europe. But, you know, more than a couple hours, the battery was going dead. So what are you going to do? So that's it. So don't get intimidated by wiring. Follow along. I'm not going to go into a long, drawn-out wiring diagram with this. I'm going to start connecting it up, and I'll come back and forth and video a couple of steps as I go along so you see exactly what I was doing. And I hope that makes it easier for you. All right, let's go. Well, as you can see, the wiring's in, roughly zip tied into place. Everything's going to be tucked up inside the frame here. So basically the only wire you're going to see going up is this wire right here. And then the lead coming off the starter wire is going to get connected into that. And then the neutral wire, which will all go through one sleeve up, hidden, because the way the body work comes, it kind of cuts it like this, cuts it like that, see? So it all gets put away. Got everything all connected. Basically go around, and I like to check all the grounds first, and everything's grounded, right? There's my power. So now on the power side, give you an idea, like here's the lighting plug. Hot, hot, cold, negative, and hot. Turn it off, right? But you still got power for the bike. So all that stuff is all good. Battery, made a little bracket for the battery, tucked it up inside the tail section right here, so it's below the seat, behind the side cover. Starter relay, same thing, tucked up in here, so everything's up out of the way. But the only thing you'll see on this, once it's all back together, is going to be regulator rectifier right over here, you know, and that's really about it. Everything's put up and away. I'll give you a little shot and just do a little pan through here, just kind of see what how I did it and what I put in here. And then next step is to run the lighting, wiring, headlight, tail light, brake light, that stuff, and then move on to the exhaust, and then go to the tires and everything else, and chain and rear sprocket. And it's getting close, man. It's getting close. Be firing it up soon. All right, so here's everything installed in the bike. Here's the harness. Keep it up on top of the backbone. Tank is going to cover all that. Everything goes up and through here. Side cover is going to cover this. There's the battery setup. I made a battery tray for it. That's mounted. Key switch is mounted. Regulator rectifier. Coil. Just got to do a couple more zip ties here and there, but I still got to run the lighting harness into the bike. So that hasn't been done yet. But like I said, I like to go and test everything. There's, you know, all my grounds are good on everything. There's no issues. All my hots are good. So this thing basically, if I put the carburetor on it and gas in it, it's ready to fire up. So we will continue on and go from there. I'm liking this build. I think it's going to look pretty cool. Black Crush. All right, time to do the lighting in the front end. I got this pretty trick dual headlamp setup. I think it's going to give it a nice look. Upgraded with LEDs. Number plate's going to come off. It's going to sit somewhere, actually probably right around there. And I got a nice black billet light mount kit for it to go off the forks, hold the light out. and it'll give it a good look, something different, you know. I've never used this light before. I thought it was kind of neat. The width is perfect, fits right where it's going to sit, and that's it. Owner's manual and toolkit. Don't need that right now. And let's get this thing tore apart. I'll hang the light on there, get an idea of what I'm doing and how it looks, and we'll go from there. Well, we got the lights done, mounted up. Nice little trick bracket set up here, offsets it really good. Good gap between the fender, and then a good gap to the top of the handlebar clamp. So I kind of like it centered in the middle, and it works good. Temporarily hooked it up. There we go. We got light, man. Dual LEDs, super bright. I like it. I'm happy with it. Made a nice little harness for it. Gonna tuck that back inside the frame here in a little bit. And onto the taillight. We'll be back. Well, let's bring it up to speed a little bit where we're at. Wiring is still pretty much roughed in. I planned on having it finished up by now, but my taillight, which for the life of me, I went crazy looking for. I knew I had. I realized I sold it to a customer when I did a light upgrade on his bike. We do about 6 or 8 light upgrades on mini bikes and pit bikes out of the shop every week. It's $100 installed, LED lighting, front rear with a brake light. You can't go wrong. So I ordered one. I'll have it here today. I just tracked it with UPS. It's on its way in. It should be here sometime today. So that's why I couldn't finish up the entire lighting. What I did do though, since then, carburetor's mounted in, set up, clears perfectly inside the frame. I came up with a real sharp air filter setup that has a nice 45 molded into it with an internal velocity stack. You can see what it looks like here. It's got the right angle, and it tucks inside the frame, so it's actually a nice piece. That's done. Oil cooler, that's done. Braided lines, they're all in, that's done. I did the hydraulic for the clutch and the front brake. That's been replaced. New hydraulic line for the front brake, new hydraulic line for the clutch, new hydraulic slave cylinder down on the clutch, as you can see here. Oil cooling lines are in with a support and a brace so they don't go flopping around. So like I said, this bike is getting built like it's a factory build, so I'm trying to keep everything looking that way. It's coming along real good. I'm happy with everything. Next step is to finish this wiring up, and then I'm going to do the wheel swap on it, get the chain mounted, and we're ready for a test fire. So let's see what happens here shortly. I'll do a couple more things, bring you up to speed, and we'll go from there. Well, here it is. All the electrical's done. Everything's all tucked in here, wrapped with some mesh loom. Keep it clean, keep it from getting chafed. About the only amount of wire you're going to see on the bike once everything's all back together, I think, is probably like right in this area here. That's about it. Everything else will be tucked up under the tank and hidden. Tail light, brake light is on, headlights are on, everything's wired up, key switch is all hooked up, ready to go. I filled the carburetor bowl with a little fuel. We're going to see if this thing fires off. This is the first fire right now. On, key on, run, choke up. Here we go. There we go. First fire. We're all good. There we go. First fire. Now we just got to dial it in and tune it in. But man, she fired right up quick. Well, that's a good feeling. Now that I know the thing is running. Now I'm going to get all the plastic back on it. Now I got to do basically the wheel tire combination. It's got to get swapped out. Got to put the chain on it and take it out and start testing it. We're close. So follow along. Well, here it is. It's all done. Took it out for a quick test ride a little while ago. Had to play with the jetting a little bit. Running the 125 main in it now. It's perfect. The spark plug looks good after about a 5 or 10 minute ride and a shutdown. Starts right up. Everything works on it. A couple little bugs I had to sort out this morning. But so far, so good. Going to take it out and ride it a little bit more. Do a couple more test runs with it. But so far, I'm super happy with the way this thing came out. I think it looks killer. You know, the mini Supermoto wheels with the 120s and 130s on it really fit the bike well. It's got a good rake to it. It rides super nice. Everything kind of looks factory. Oil cooler tucks in here real nice. Everything cleared. I'm not going to say with a lot of room, but everything cleared pretty easily. Just takes a little bit of finesse to get it all in there. And the one thing I was super happy about was that the carburetor went in right in between the lower spar on the frame rails, and it just sits right inside of that. And then I got that, like you saw earlier, that nice angled 45-degree cone filter, which also has a built-in velocity stack on the inside. So it's actually a pretty nice piece. And it was cheap. I think it was like 16 bucks on Amazon. My taillight showed up, so that's finally on. All the wiring's done. Everything's sealed up. All the hydraulics are done. Upgraded hydraulic master cylinder for up front. Matches the clutch hydraulic with the slave. That's all good. New hydraulic lines. Double headlights. LEDs. LED tail light in the back with a brake light. Exhaust tip, stainless turn down. Like I said, oil cooler. I'll give you a complete walk around on this bike here in a couple minutes. I want to take it outside. The lighting's a little bit better, but it's quieter in here. That's kind of why I did the final wrap up here. But I'll let you hear it run. I'll do some walk around on it, a little bit more filming. I'm going to go take it for another ride, and I'll probably mount camera on my helmet and run a head cam on it, and go for a little fun. So hope you like the video, and hope you like what you see. I'll give you some close-up shots of stuff that I did. Leave me some comments, leave me suggestions. Good, bad, I don't care. It's all constructive, and you know, bad criticism is as good criticism. You know, you find out if you made any mistakes, or if there's something you missed, or you get some pointers from somebody. Nobody ever knows everything, so it's always good to take input from every side, so to speak. But other than that, let's go ride this thing. But let's look at it real close first. Check this out. There it is, it's done. Let's fire it up, take it for a little ride, and we'll have a little fun. Okay, riding impression. I love it. Does it need a few things? Yeah, there's a couple things I want to tweak on it. But right now I want to ride it for a little while, get used to it. But overall, I'm super, super happy with the build. It runs good, it's fast. I clocked it on my phone at 68 miles an hour before I had to shut it down. Probably 70 is about the max, maybe 72. That's just because of the way it's geared. A little stumble in the carburetor there, I heard every now and then, so that's something I gotta go with. If I ride it easy, it's okay. If I stand on it a few times, I think maybe it loads up, so I'm gonna do another plug reading on it and just double check our jetting. It is a power jet carb, so it is dumping a lot of fuel there when you let off on it. It does do a wash sometimes. Lighting works, brakes work, clutch work, hydraulics are all good, no complaints. That's it. This video's a wrap. Hope you like what you saw. Do me a favor. Let me know whether you like it or you didn't. Give me some feedback on it. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button. Follow us on Facebook at Muscle Minibike Builds. And follow us on Instagram at Muscle Minibikes. And that's it. Thanks. Enjoy. Have a good weekend. And watch for the next video, which will be coming up after the weekend. I'm going to be highlighting all the footage from the hood ride. And if you want to see what it's all about, look in the description below. And I'll put a couple links in for the past couple of years. There's some pretty good video footage out there. But I'm going to do a bunch of videoing. And we have a couple people on the ride as well that'll be videoing. So there'll be stuff popping up all over the place next week. So look out for it. Take care, everybody. Thank you.